What's up, YouTube? It's Anthony Castillo with you guys. Another talk right here. So I wanted this one to be on this one's actually focused a little bit more on this new arrangement, I'd say, because I also recognize, like, when we're going through a lot of changes and various forms of like ideas and concepts out there, whatever, I was kind of like focused on this like arrangement. It's like, with spirituality manifesting itself in various contexts, right? Spirituality is not going to be what a lot of people believe it's meant to be, just because we're developing ourselves, right? Every day we reintegrate ourselves. We have shaped ourselves through many lifetimes. We think about, when we were 12 years old, or when we were either, 10 years old or whatever, that we didn't know what was going on at that time. We just kind of figured something out at the time when we were arranging, the dots, or we were arranging the direction of the next steps of our lives. And I don't want to use the word purposeful, just because that often gets thrown around too much, to a point where many of us don't look at the reasons why we say words like that. And I might be speaking from, just from a conception, but here's the thing about it, though. When it comes to an arrangement, even when you look at a map, right? You look at a map and you're like, okay, there is an arrangement of every coordinate and every precision happening at a certain time, right? And the route is either going to take us in the direction that we want to go, or it's going to take us in the direction that we're not wanting to go, right? So this also has to do with like patterns in our speech, in other various ways as well, like responses, or perhaps even even an emotion, for instance. An emotion could be a pattern that's probably persistent. And the persistence of an emotion is probably trying to tell us something else, that we should probably not do or go in a direction that's going to probably influence an emotion that we shouldn't have allowed it to influence us. And I know that can get really, really complex as we just start, getting into spiritual nuances or just details, because like when we think about I'm not saying to overthink things at times, because that's not probably not healthy for a lot of us, because when we overthink too much, then we probably start to, I would say, cause anxiety. And so there's techniques out for many people to reduce anxiety, especially if you're dealing with like mental health professionals. I know when I was at the hospital, again, I like to reference the hospital. When I was working at the hospital, I remember just seeing someone going through a delusion, right? They were very, very delusional. They really believed in some concept that made them believe that this was happening, right? They really believed that, like, say they were the president of the United States of America. And some, till this day, there are lots of psychologists, lots of people still trying to understand why a person thinks that there's something like that in this world. And some, and the delusion can be in various ways. Some people can feel like their skin is falling apart. There's different names to certain things. But I guess in this context, I want to just, I want to like make known that this arrangement, right? Let's arrange the way we look at things, and maybe let's arrange the way we view ourselves in the things that we're going through, right? So, and that's going to give a little bit of a challenge for this channel, because I think the context behind spirituality is meant to take a look at ourselves and really say, okay, what is going on here? You know, what is really, really going on in this new arrangement of life, because there are going to be some very interesting things that a lot of us don't understand. Even myself, like when I was 12 years old, I didn't understand. I didn't understand a lot of things of what was going on. But, you know, though the things that I didn't appreciate and the things I did not really like wanted to gravitate towards, I knew how to push it away in different ways. I knew how to ignore it, especially the things I didn't like. You know, some things I genuinely did not like. And sometimes it takes a while to express something, to rearrange something else. Now, this may take some time. And my own classical phrase I like to say, let time and space do its wonders, because it's a lot. It could get a lot sometimes. But anyways, guys, hopefully you guys enjoy this channel. And some of its frameworks, or some of its works around the ideas. So that being said, hopefully you guys enjoy, and remember to subscribe, and I will catch you on the next one.